You're listening to The Drive.
Yo, it is The Drive right now, and we are doing something very, very special now. As you all know, we've been partnered with CLES recently and showcasing some of Lebanon's local talents. But what it is that CLES does is so much more than support local talents in music. They also go above and beyond and support Lebanon in so many different ways in learning disabilities and just difficulties that any child might have. And this might seem like an unusual subject, but the thing is, this is so common, and we might lack a little bit of the information or the education into what goes on with children and how we can detect certain, difficulties that they might have. And all thanks to CLES, they have such an amazing support system where they are able to educate and give us the right kind of help to help our children through any difficulties that they might have. And I'm so honored that I've got someone from CLES right here in the studio, Miss Zalfa Chamoun. She's a speech therapist, and she definitely knows what she's talking about. And so I'm very, very excited that she's here. Hey, Zalfa.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Well, I'm good, and I'm really, really happy that you're here, because this is something that we don't talk about enough. And this is something that I feel like a lot of people, whether they're, children themselves listening in, teenagers themselves listening in, or parents, young parents, older parents, this is something that they can definitely benefit from. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about dyslexia and dysorthography.
Yes.
And I want to ask you a little bit about what exactly is that for the people who don't know what that is.
Well, dyslexia and dysorthography are both specific learning disabilities. Dyslexia is characterized by difficulties with fluent or accurate word recognition.
Like what I just did there.
Yes. Poor spelling and decoding disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Reading comprehension problems might be also detected as a consequence of the reading disorder.
Right.
However, dysorthography is a specific disorder in spelling.
Right.
That might accompany dyslexia, or it can occur separately.
And I know a lot of people who have that, by the way, and it doesn't actually has anything to do with your intelligence or your IQ. It's just
Exactly.
It's just a thing that we need to just recognize and find ways that we can go about it. Now, for parents that have children and are unsure about all this, how can they identify if their child is at risk?
Well, first I want to mention that both disorders should not be linked to any sensory, motor, or mental deficits, psychological factors, or inaccurate education.
Right.
As you mentioned, they are both they are mainly related, or they mainly result due to a dysfunction in cognitive abilities such as memory, attention, and phonological awareness.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for the signs, dyslexia can appear as early as preschool.
Mm-hmm.
However, the signs can be different depending on the stage and the child's age.
Right.
So for the preschool, children might show trouble in learning nursery rhymes, in learning and remembering letters, and recognizing the letters in their name. For kindergarten and first grade, children might they will commit frequent errors. They might not recognize letters yet. They will commit errors that don't correspond to the sounds of letters in a certain word.
So basically, like it could vary in so many different ways. We just need to just respond to our children and observe what they're doing. And akid aham shi, like if you do notice these mistakes that they're doing, our reaction should never be, what's wrong with you, or whatever it is. And we always just to stay calm and keep on observing to see, is this a pattern or is it like a one-time thing?
Yes, exactly. Especially that children with dyslexia might show anxiety when they are asked to read or write.
It's very strange for them, I'm sure. Yeah. And what should parents do when they suspect it? So when they realize that it's happening, what should be the steps that they take?
So first, they can consult a speech and language therapist.
Just like yourself.
Yes. Who will conduct an assessment, and she will be, or he will be evaluating reading and spelling skills in addition to the cognitive abilities that might underlie the reading disorder. The assessment usually takes between 2 to 3 sessions depending on the child's difficulties and their age. Oral language skills can also be assessed.
Yeah.
And after the assessment, if needed, the speech therapist can refer the child to further assessments with other therapists, such as psychomotor therapists and psychologists.
Now, it does sound very, very heavy, but it's not that heavy. It's just something that, a child that doesn't, aren't very good at sports or something, they need to take extra lessons just to try and get, physical strength back up and all that. It's not a sickness, it's not a disease. It does sound heavier and more complicated than what it actually is. But with the right support and with the right help, like from CLES, they can conquer it. It's really just like having a side gig, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, thank you so much, Zalfa, for that information. Now, I have one more question. If the child was diagnosed with dyslexia or dysorthography, what happens next? Is there something that just like I want to just tell us exactly what their life is going to look like, because I know that a lot of people will think, oh my God, no, what's going to happen now?
Yes. So basically, the child will be followed up by a multidisciplinary team. The therapist will collaborate and create a follow-up plan that will address the child's difficulties from different perspectives. Also, a collaboration with school and teachers might take place to make sure that the child is receiving enough support at school and to implement adjustments in class or during exams.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Yes.
So it's just really providing them that cushion, a little bit of support that they need just to be at the same level as the rest of their classmates. And guys, this is information that I'm also learning just as much as you. And even though I don't have children, or I might have a niece or a nephew or a cousin or a friend that might be going through something like this, and it's so great that we're all learning about what it means and what we should do in these sort of situations. And so thank you so much, Zalfa, for educating us.
Thank you.
So thank you, Zalfa.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, me too.
All right, guys, straight back into the music.